This is by far the most disgraceful video that I've ever made to my family in the history of forever, and that's saying a lot considering that these videos exist on my channel. Anyway. It never crossed my mind that one day I would be asked to do a tattoo tour video because a few months ago I literally only had 2 tiny tattoos. But this is what moving to Philly does to you. So I now have like 13, 14 tattoos. It's really nothing crazy. I don't feel like I have nearly enough to make a video about it, but morale and motivation is very low this week, and then I had the bright idea that I could just do this video because a lot of people have been asking for it, and I haven't made a personal video in a little while. So I'm not a woman who feels like everything has to have a meaning, but I do have fun little meanings behind some of them, so if you care about the lore, the Nikki Nasty lore, then maybe this will interest you. Let's start with my very first little baby tattoo, which is the number 11. The placement fully is inspired by Miss Claudia Salewski. She had a little star there, and I was feeling a little rebellious, and I was like, I'm above the age of 18. I think I was like 18 or 19 when I got this tattoo. And I literally walked into my local tattoo shop and I was like, I want a tattoo. And they're like, shop minimum is $90. Now I know that this is not worth $90, and I should have been smart and, you know, gotten other things along with it to fit that $90 shop minimum, but it's in the past. So 11 is just my favorite number. It was my angel number before I knew what angel numbers really even were. I don't regret it at all. I don't regret any of my tattoos at all, but it is just funny because I probably wouldn't get a number tattooed on me now, or like my angel numbers or whatever. Funny story, I got this on the day that I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which was like an extremely massive deal to me. My second tattoo was about like 6 months later. It's on my arm. It's in my own handwriting because I'm that bitch. It says Miracle Aligner on it. And I actually got this on the day that I hit 100,000 subscribers. It's my absolute favorite song ever, and it's by the Last Shadow Puppets. It's called Miracle Aligner. The music video is beautiful. The song is beautiful. Everyone that I've ever showed that song to, they're like, this is my song. And I'm like, hell yeah, it's all of our songs. And it's very easy to like hear the song and initially think like, oh, it's about God or it's about some higher being. But I choose to think that I'm like my own miracle aligner. Like I am the only one responsible for my life and my choices and the outcomes of it all. And it's funny because I found out that they did an interview where they revealed that Miracle Aligner is actually referring to a Coke dealer. I love the tattoo so much more because of it. I think it makes it 10 times funnier. And then I didn't get any tattoos for a long while, but my friend G had mentioned that this tattoo artist in Philly named Cece Pokes, she's this amazing tattoo artist, and I checked out her Instagram and I was immediately in love with her work, and I followed her. One day, like last December, I was just having a really fucking shit, awful, like bad day. I'm the type of person that if I'm having a bad day, I kind of want to stay in that bad day. Like, it is very difficult for me to be able to turn it around. So I was like actively trying to fix this bad fucking day. And I saw that Cece had Walk-In Wednesdays. I got this little Is This It glove. She's like very well known for her like latex glove, kinky little hand tattoos. And they're extremely cute. And I knew that she needed to do my first strokes tattoo because I don't trust anyone else with it. It was cool because it was my first hand poke tattoo. So it was all outlined with a machine and then it was hand poked. I love the entire experience of getting hand poke tattoos. I think it's awesome. They're also less painful and just like heal beautifully. So it's not a secret. Strokes are my favorite band. I would die for Julie Casablancas. And then during the same time, I got this little matching best friend star with my best friend Kaylee. Kaylee also has a little star on their wrist. Kaylee's been my best friend since like the 7th grade. She was my roommate in college and I love her. She's like a fucking sister to me. And I felt so much more confident in like my hands since I got this tattoo, which has kind of influenced me getting more hand and wrist tattoos. This is not meant to be a pick-me ass comment, but I have very little hands. They're just fucking small, and I never felt like, oh, beautiful and dainty and like, oh, so elegant when like holding something. And having a little stupid ass D-Doot star, it just made me all the more confident. So I was like, I definitely need more tattoos in this area. Anyway, I love these tattoos because it was that little trip to get these tattoos that like influenced my decision to move back to Philly. And I've been so happy since. The next tattoo that I got is a knife. Also done by Cece. I actually forget about this tattoo the most, to be honest, because it's like tucked away and secretive. I love the look of like knife and dagger tattoos. They just make you look hard as heck and tough. But it's cute because this is like a little steak knife. I don't even eat steak. It's a little steak knife that my mom uses to cut like all of her fruit. It's just like a very cute and endearing little memory that my mom would use this exact knife to like cut fruit for me and my family, and like when my friends would come over, and like I don't know how like immigrant mothers do it when they're like cutting fruit in the air. You know what I'm talking about, like cutting boards don't exist in my house. And I was just like taking a bunch of photos of like this knife because I knew that this was a tattoo that I wanted. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I just love this knife. I remember showing it to her and she was like so disappointed. She's completely over it now. And then I decided I also want something on my hands and my fingers. And I was like, all right, I'll do another sparkle. So I believe she hand-poked this one as well. I've only gotten it touched up once in like one little spot. I know finger tattoos are like usually the first to go, but she's in there. I think my next one were these little wrist tattoos, also done by Cece. My friend G was getting this like huge stomach tattoo that took like 5-6 hours. So I had a long time to decide what I wanted. So like I can read them. But basically it says 100 lat, which means 100 years in Polish. If you're Polish or you have a Polish family, you speak Polish, basically there's this song where you sing 100 lat and you're wishing that person like 100 more years. You usually sing it at like a wedding or a birthday party. And I grew up my whole life like just like hearing 100 lat everywhere. It's just like a sign of good luck. I just think that's cute as hell. My Polish family was not a fan, but I'm a fan. So it's like little bracelets all the time. I always feel like I have jewelry on even if I don't have anything. We just had to make sure that the O just like looked like an O, because if it didn't, it looked like STD. So, and these were also hand poked. This is kind of where I started becoming a bit more spontaneous. I decided to get this little cowboy boot on my arm. Doesn't really have much meaning. It was like part of Cece's flash. It was originally like a roller skate, so we took the roller skates out. I like pretty much just let Cece decide where it looks best on my body, and I'm so happy with where I chose it. I definitely have way more on this arm, but this is like my biggest thing that I have on my right arm. Maybe it's like a little basic. Maybe a lot of people have cowboy boots, but I love my pair of cowboy boots that I like thrifted. I think I got them from like ThredUp. I wear them to like every concert ever because they're my most comfortable shoe. And I'm like, why wouldn't I want to get that tattooed? Like, that's very cute. This isn't going to be a sob story by any means, but I have diagnosed OCD. With OCD, you feel a lot of guilt and shame and like embarrassment by like the things that you do, which leads to obsessions and compulsions. When I was growing up and I was like, you know, undiagnosed, unmedicated, and not getting help, I was like, I'm never gonna get a tattoo. I don't like anything enough to ever get it permanently on my body. I don't want anything like that. That was my very strict mindset, and I took change very seriously. I would only change my appearance really when like something bad happened to me and I needed to change like my whole entire appearance so that I wouldn't be related to that person that I once was. Tattoos seemed like such a difficult thing for me to get because, well, I can't like erase it once I want to become a new person once something bad happens to me. I don't do very well with things that are like permanent and I cannot change. And so for me, it was like a very big deal in like my mental health journey and growth that I had started to become a more spontaneous and fun person that's able to get a piece of artwork by an artist that I like just because I like it and just because I want it in that moment and just because I think it looks nice, and that it's okay if I can't like get it off of my body the next time that something bad happens to me. And just because the artwork that's on my body is the same as when something bad happened to that person, it can't be changed. That's okay. I think it probably sounds very weird and like complicated to someone who doesn't have OCD or who doesn't struggle with things like this, but it meant a lot to me that I started getting better with this. And like tattoos became kind of like almost like a challenge and a test for me, and it also was seen as like very freeing. So I feel very proud of myself once I get a tattoo because it's like growth and a reminder that like old Nicole would not be able to do something like this because it would have been extremely hard on my mental health to not be able to like scrub it off my body the second that something bad happened to me. Anyway, I just fucking like it. And I actually get stopped a lot for this tattoo in particular because people ask, did Cece do that? And I'm like, yes. Because people in Philly just recognize Cece's work from like a mile away. And I also got this little tattoo on the back of my arm that says, call the dogs out, from the song by The Garden, Call the Dogs Out. For a long time, I wanted a dog barking tattoo, which I then turned into something a little bit different. You'll see it later. Say what you want about The Garden, that it sounds like a bunch of like toots and whistles and like beep boop bop, and like it does. I'll admit it, it does sound like that. But the common theme in like their music and in this song in particular is like, if someone invades your space and your area, you have the right to defend it. And in the nicest way possible. If someone is a shit person and doesn't respect you or your space, then they can go fuck themselves. So last year I dealt with some pretty deep and serious privacy and threat issues that really affected me, still deeply to this day. Truly, for the first time, I thought to myself, like, holy shit, I've never had my space invaded like this. I'm the only one who can protect myself. If I need to fucking call the dogs out, then I will. All right, and this is when I started working on this arm. This arm did not look this way like a month ago. Like, I got this arm very filled up in like the last month or two. This summer has been crazy. I told myself, no fucking summer tattoos. Summer tattoos are the devil. Gotta stay away from the sun, sunscreen, no heat. I'm not doing summer tattoos next summer. But anyway, I've been wanting a little Cupid tattoo for the longest time, so I finally got one. It's by a Tiny Loophole. I like booked months and months out, so I was like waiting for this day for such a long time. I fucking love Cupid. When I found out what a Cupid was, which was like literally only December of last year, I was like, I am obsessed with it and I need it on my body and I need to start collecting little Cupids. Therefore now I just have like a bunch of little stupid naked babies around my house. And I just wanted a Cupid that was just happy and just like kicking its little foot in the air. That's all I wanted. That's like what I wrote in my description. I was like, just like a happy little guy kicking his little foot out and being like, woohoo! There's really nothing else to it other than he is cute and he is naked and he's having a good fucking time. And it's really cute that I have like a little nipple tattoo on me now. This is where things start to kind of go downhill when it came to my tattoo healing process, because up until this point, I had a great time healing my tattoos. I get my 3rd booster vaccine. Then 2 days later, I get him. And then another like 2 days later, I get her. And then like 2 days later, I got COVID. It was a wild week for my immune system and my entire arm just completely broke out. I had to do like a virtual visit. Is it eczema? Is it immune response? Is it an allergic reaction? I'm not 100% sure, and it's okay. Like, some things, the less I know, the better. Tame Impala was right. Anyway, let's move on. Like I said, I got her. This is my little tattoo for my cat Clementine as a little baby babushka. I took this photo of her meowing when she escaped her little carrier when I was driving. It was very bad and very scary in the moment, but it made an amazing and cute photo. Then I started wearing a shit ton of bandanas, and now we're just always matching. Instead of getting like a barking dog or like a hissing cat, I just now have her. I'm gonna go grab her. Mommy needs to exploit you. I'd be nothing without her. My next tattoo is another favorite of mine. It's by Tough Baby Tats on Instagram, Rachel. This is part of their flash. It just says the end. There's no real meaning behind it other than I saw this in their flash work and I was like, I need that on my body immediately, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then they had an opening and I was like, I need to go. And so I did. This was the first tattoo that my mom ever complimented, which is very nice of her. And then my last and most recent tattoo, and pretty much the reason why I'm making this video now, because I can't get a tattoo for a while, I'll explain in a second. It is this little stork on my forearm by Cece. And instead of the stork like carrying a little like baby sack, like a little sack full of a baby, it's just carrying flowers. And it was inspired by this t-shirt that I bought from the Claro concert. I obviously love Claro, but this in no way is like a Claro tattoo. And maybe from a distance it does look like the Wawa logo, but like also who cares? Like Philly Girl Forever. For some of you who may not know, I joke about it a lot, but my biggest phobia is pregnancy. It absolutely terrifies me, and it's something that I had to talk about in therapy like quite a lot. Like, holy shit, like exposure therapy, like put me in a room with a pregnant woman and I'm gonna lose my mind. Growing up as a woman, like you're expected and taught like the life for you is to be a mother one day. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like the life for me is to just kind of like be me and not really be a mother. And I don't know if that's the path for me. To me, the idea of a stork carrying like a little baby is absolutely like terrifying and like would give me a blood curdling scream. But the idea of like a stork bringing little flowers is very cute and very wholesome to me and not terrifying. But anyway, this is in like no way, shape, or form any of like my tattoo artist's fault, but I do have to take a break from tattooing for a while because every single time I get tattooed for the last few months, I'm getting like an immune reaction, eczema, dermatitis, blisters, itching, whether that's from getting COVID and like the immune response that I had it because of this, I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but I've been advised to not get any for a little while so that I can just like let my immune system chill out. And this one, healing, is like kind of going through it because of that. So the big girl decision would be to take a break. Tattoo plans for the future. I know I want a chair. No reason. I just think chair tattoos look great. And really my only plans are doing my arms right now. I don't have any plans for like touching anywhere else on my body. Maybe I will at some point or another, but right now I just feel cool having my arms tattooed. I never thought I'd have a tattoo, or let alone like as many as I do, or like even visible ones, but it's made me such a more confident person in my own skin, I feel. And I'm like really into like collecting furniture and art for my home, so I like have the same mentality for like my body now, and collecting art from like different artists for my body of things that I like and I enjoy. I will say I feel so lucky that in Philly there's like so many amazing tattoo artists, and being able to go to some like non-men tattoo artists has been very awesome. So I highly recommend, and I recommend any of the tattoo artists that I mentioned in this video. Oh my god, she's so cool. Oh my god, who is she? Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little tattoo tour. I got way more personal in it than I expected, but would it be a Nikki Nasty video if I didn't get like way too extremely deep talking about myself? No. If you guys like this video, please make sure that you leave it a like, because it helps me out so much. Also leave a comment if you have any tattoos, if you like any of mine in particular, any questions. I'll answer as many as I can in the comments. Make sure that you subscribe to this video if you want to be nasty. If not, you're disgusting. Also, make sure that you have your bell notifications on so you know every single time I post, or else you are gross. I have a few more nasty tote bags left on my site, so make sure to go check those out. If you want to follow me on my other social media, Instagram, Twitter, Depop, Spotify, it's just at Nicole Rafiee. And if you want to follow me on my TikTok, it's at Nikki Nasty. I'm gonna go now and cry that I can't book another tattoo appointment and go scratch at my eczema. Thank you. Bye.